Welcome, everybody, to Shooting Spaces, a real estate photography podcast, roundtable discussion version. And today we're going to have some established, wonderful video professionals. And the whole conversation is going to be about video. Why should I? How do I? And what am I going to do? And, but before we do that, I just want to say hello to Brian Berkowitz. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. What's up? That's the best intro I've gotten in 5 years.
I know. It just gets so much better. In another 5 years, who knows? I'll really have this down. It's great, man. We're getting some rain and snow in California right now. But I'm super excited because my daughter is graduating on Friday and Saturday as a nurse from nursing school. So my littlest one is graduating college, and I'm going to go down to San Diego and have a great time. So I'm really excited and getting busier. Work is getting busier. So what about you? You're always busy.
Yeah, I'm always busy. This week is pretty slow, but I needed it. Last week, I was shooting every single day, and I had 3 16-hour days. So it's good to settle down a little and relax and catch up and sleep in. Oh, I don't really sleep in. I have 3 kids, but sleep in until 6:30 and then go about my day. So,
okay, great. So we're going to start off with a little sponsorship read. HD Photo Hub. Sit back and enjoy.
HD Photo Hub is the complete solution for any photography business that needs a professional white label platform that automates payment collection, scheduling, and photo delivery, all without monthly contracts or fees. HD Photo Hub is all about your business and your brand. They don't put their logo on any of your order forms or sites, and they even integrate with the email services and automation tools you are already using today. Hey, they even have live customer support to help you get started. Visit hdphotohub.com and sign up for a free one-on-one demo or live webinar to learn more.
Welcome back. And I'd just like to get started by going through, we have 3 guests today. And again, this is a roundtable discussion. The subject is videography in the real estate business. It could also probably morph over to not real estate, but design work and everything like that. So, they all roll over into things. So I just want to start off with our first guest, Tacey Jungmann. Is it Jungmann, right?
Jungmann.
Jungmann. I've only known you for like 15 years. So Tacey, please give us the brief elevator pitch. Tell us your business name, how that people can find your information.
So I'm Tacey Jungmann. I live on Whidbey Island in Washington. It's a big island, but it's still an island. And I own Snowberry Lane Photography. It's just me. I do about 600 shoots a year. Did 5 today. So I'm a pretty busy girl. And I do all the things. And if I don't do all the things, when somebody asks me for something else, I figure out how to get it done. So you can find me on Instagram at Snowberry Photo. For the purposes of this, you can find me on Vimeo, Snowberry Lane Photography. I do not have a website. Yeah, it's on the list. But anyway, I'm also active on Facebook.
Very. Okay, next we're going to go with Joel. Joel, I'm going to ask you to pronounce your last name. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Joel.
Yep, my last name is Yocca. It is an Italian last name. I am from Stephen City, Virginia, which is just about an hour and a half outside of Washington, D.C. The owner of Absolute Altitude. We are a film and photography company. We do a ton of real estate. We shot just over 900 houses last year. But we also do a lot of commercial film and video production, which is what, we pride ourselves in as well. And love to get creative with our clients. And I think that's something that we're known for. And you can check us out at absolutealtitude.us. We're also on Facebook at Absolute Altitude LLC, and then on Instagram, absolute.altitude.
Great.
I respect all of you guys shooting 600, 900 homes a year. Holy shit. It's insane. I shot my second real estate. I was telling you earlier, Rich, today. I shot my second residential real estate listing of the year yesterday, and it was an absolute disaster. So we'll
do another podcast on disasters.
Yeah. So you guys have my absolute respect doing that amount of work in the residential real estate industry.
Okay. And last but not least, but not by least at all, it's Dylan Garrison. Thank you for coming on, Dylan. Give us a little intro into you.
Hey, everybody. Dylan Garrison. I am in Edina, Minnesota, which is right outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have been doing this for 5 years, and I have no idea how many properties I shot last year because I don't count or pay attention at all. I'm not even sure how much money I made last year, if I'm honest. But anyways, came into this because I was a realtor for 13 years, but before that I went to art school, and it all kind of jumbled up together. I started shooting videos on an iPhone 3GS in 2017, and I find myself here with you fine people today. So you can find me on basically just Instagram, Press Play Media LLC, and my company's Press Play Media. Like the hat.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, give me away on the hat there.
Yeah, I gotta wear the trucker hat.
I want one. Okay, so Brian, I'm gonna defer some of this to you because you do video. You still doing video?
Occasionally, very rarely, and if I do it, it's more from the architectural design side. But I'm very rarely doing video. When I was doing real estate, I was doing a lot of video, mostly drone though. Actually, I wasn't doing interior video stuff. But that being said, I know, Tacey, you said you're kind of a jack of all trades now because you have to be. So, and this is a discussion that's been going on over the last 2 or 3 years across our industry, where us as photographers turned into media professionals, and we're not just offering photography anymore and all that stuff. So for those who aren't and who are just, doing photography, I guess, I mentioned you, so I'll start with you, Tacey. You said it's important to start offering all your services. You sort of have to, or else your clients are going to go elsewhere. So why do you feel getting video is probably, I guess, the initial point or the first service to add on? I mean, would you feel that way, or is it more maybe virtual tour? I mean, there's obviously an easier point of entry with like an iGuide or a Matterport. I get that.
Yeah.
But we all know video is king and content is king and all that. So.
Right. I think that, I think actually floor plans are the easiest add-on, but, it doesn't require any equipment. But there's the bottom line for me around this whole, jack of all trades is, well, first of all, it's a jack of all trades, is master of none, but better than a master of one. That is actually the entire quote, which is often misquoted. But anyway, I digress. So I think that my approach to working with realtors is around partnership. It's that I want to be so integrated into their systems that they don't have to look or think about going anywhere else for anything. So whenever there's a gap, and it started out with a gap of video, they were going to other high-end providers. And I thought, well, this is something that I can figure out how to do. And this was 6 years ago now, doing Zillow iPhone videos at that point. So I think the approach, if your approach is around partnering and truly partnering, then video has to be a part of it. And, it's really evolving, but we can get into that more.
Sure. And I mean, what do you guys think? You agree with that? I mean, I know, Joel, you said you come from a video production background more so than real estate photography. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's kind of the opposite for me. So when I got into real estate photography, I was more, I started the company. I was one of those guys who jumped on the drone bandwagon and I started a kind of a drone company, and it was going to be more of a company that was going to be kind of a tool in my toolbox for filmmakers and for filmmaking in general. And I thought, the real estate thing will be kind of a bread and butter side gig type thing. And I quickly realized that, well, you can't just offer drone. That's kind of dumb. And so that took me inside the houses, and although
just to interrupt you there, and sorry for doing that, what is it, 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, when DJI released their first drone and it started becoming a thing, that's the way it was. And, all of us used to hire separate drone operators because that's just the way the industry was at the time. It wasn't so easy to get a drone license at that point. Sure. I remember my old business partner, literally when they first when the FAA first announced, like, this is how you get licensed, you were required to have 10,000 actual, maybe it was 10,000 or 1,000, probably not 10,000, 1,000 actual flight hours on an airplane in order to get a license for a drone, which, as we all know, makes absolutely no sense. It changed after a year or two. But that being said, like, I used to outsource my drones until it just became easy for me to get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, I could see the writing on the wall that, like, we could be so much more valuable if we offered the full package. And from the time that we started in 2016 to where we are now, it's just evolved ever since. But it did start with drone, and it did start with kind of more video production in mind. And photography actually I quickly realized, was pretty necessary part of real estate in general. And that really has taken off for us.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I started with video only, and I don't think I shot a photo for the first year I was in business. And quite by accident, my first employee was a photographer from the biggest photo company in town. He had left; they weren't treating him well or something. And he called me and said, "Hey, man, you're doing all these videos. Can you teach me video?" I said, "Sure. You want to teach me how to shoot a photo?" So we did a little trade, and he only stuck around for a couple months. But then I knew how to shoot basic photography, and you're totally right, Joel. My business took off after I added photos. Like, it was pretty rough going doing just video. But then I started shooting photos so I could do more videos. And now I love photography, and it's 5 years later. But at the time I was just trying to shoot more videos.
Yeah.
And what kind of a realtor were you, Dylan? Were you doing residential? Yeah,
I did kind of urban residential. So I was in downtown Minneapolis at a broker that did just condos and lofts. So my listings were like really high-end condos and lofts. So I kind of had this perfect thing to learn on. So in about early 2017, I just started shooting videos with my iPhone with a wide-angle lens, Zeiss wide-angle attachment I got from the Apple store. And literally by the end of the year, I convinced my wife to let me leave that career of 13 years and start a real estate videography company.
So your first videos were with the iPhone, huh?
iPhone 3GS. Actually, not my first, all of my first videos. And that actually set my company up for the direction it was in for quite a while, because for the first 3 years, almost every video, well, not every, like 90% of the videos we did were edited on an iPad. Because when I learned, I was shooting and editing with LumaFusion on my phone. Still a great way to do it if you're getting started. So I just kept doing that. It's just I started editing with LumaFusion on an iPad, and I figured out this system where I could create templates. I could edit a video in like 10 minutes, and then just boom, 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 go back. And once I did a template, I'd saved it forever, and I had about 50 templates, so no one noticed the music repeating. The iPad was great. Now I kind of mostly do this higher end stuff, so I'm doing more complicated edits in Final Cut, but it was pretty awesome to start out with.
Well, let me jump in here a second, since you're on this conversation, Dylan, how, the progress and where things are going. One of the topics I wanted to bring up today is trends in video. It's changed so much. And one thing I got to say is the interesting thing is not so long ago, there was not a real reason to do the video. I mean, we were still probably talking 10 years ago, but there was nothing to watch them on. It was not like it is today. And I want to segue into trends. And you had been talking today about your reels. And if we can talk about what is your trend, let's all go through everybody. And what is your trend right now? If you were going to say one trend, what is trending and going on and worth getting into and learning and getting good at?
I'm sure Joel will agree with me, and probably Tacey too, that vertical is kind of the trend at the moment. And here's the thing. Vertical, I never had anything against vertical. I was trying to get agents to do vertical video in 2018 when I was just starting out. Because I'm like, dude, you can watch it full screen without turning your phone. This is great, And I think we had Instagram stories in 2018, but nothing else yet. And I just couldn't get anyone to go for it. But obviously now a lot of people go for it. And from my perspective, which is a little different than everyone else because I was a realtor for 13 years, to me, vertical is so much more valuable to the agent than a normal video. And the reason is the way I deliver it, which is just kind of raw video that's been edited but not cut to music, not with any titles, just video clips, kind of the equivalent of delivering a set of photos. The realtor can take all those clips and they can compose a reel made of 3 to 5 clips, choose their own music, choose their own titles, because the reel editor in Instagram or TikTok lets you do that. It lets you place whatever piece of video you want in whatever order. And it's basically a very basic, easy to use, stupid proof editor. So what I'm teaching my realtors is, hey, let me shoot vertical for you. And then you can have this video that you can use a few clips to advertise the new listing. You can use a few clips to advertise your open house a few days later. If you have to reduce the price, you do a few more clips to do that. When you sell the property, you can use a few clips. Next Thanksgiving, because this has an amazing kitchen, you can do a post with the kitchen, say, wouldn't you love to make Thanksgiving dinner in this kitchen? And so on and so forth. And you can basically use them forever. Whereas with an edited classic video, people post it once, it's cool, they get some likes, it draws a little bit of attention, but it works its way down the feed and no one ever sees it. So I think vertical is worth way more, and I'm actually trying to charge more for it because it's worth more.
I love how you said, teach my agents. I want you to know, if you're out there, take your agents by the hand, tell them what they need to know, and get them excited about it, because the bottom line is you'll make more money doing that. You get more business and make more money. It's great.
And I'd actually jump on that too, Rich, that I think that the trend is more video. The opportunity is teaching them how to leverage that media. I think so many agents, we give them this stuff and they don't have a clue how to do it. I mean, you literally have to go okay, do you want this one? Or do you want this one? Where do you want to put it? Are you going to put it on YouTube? What do you want your presence to be? And this circles back to the whole, being a partner and being on top of things, teaching them about how AI can integrate with video in terms of getting, descriptions that you can then post on YouTube that are going to drive your SEO, all of that, how you can post a video with an AI-driven Google ad description, all of that kind of thing. I think that's really the next trend to me. I think, I've been doing verticals probably about the same since 2018 or so, and now they're everywhere. But people are doing them, I think people are doing do your own video much more. And our use is in helping them to leverage what they're creating and also leverage what we're creating for them.
And I think providing the clips like you do, I never really thought of that, and it's a genius concept, because first of all, from their perspective, it makes it a little bit more of a collaboration, and you let them, they feel like they're actually creating their own content too. And like you said, it's usable in so many different ways. They can just repurpose those clips forever, literally forever. It doesn't even have to be specific to this house. It can be just to market.
Yeah, exactly. It's no different than getting the 40 photos or whatever, Right. They can use them next year to market themselves or whatever. At least
I bet you must love the light bulb moment when they go. Was either Joel or Dylan was saying today, you're sitting in your car with an agent and they have this light bulb moment.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you. I just think it's great. And I think I'm going to definitely take something away from this podcast and get out there next week and try and do something video, because I'm the only one here that doesn't do video. And
the other tip,
only one that's got 30 years in the motion picture industry, but I
maybe that's why you don't do video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I was never in the camera department, but I'm going to probably defer to my iPhone because I feel much more comfortable on it, but I don't think it's necessarily it's even, decent quality production value, I think, is viable now, because you're looking at it so on a phone and just creative ideas, and I think it's great. Exciting.
Joel, what do you think is trending now?
I think that trending now this year is short form videos. Whether it's vertical or horizontal, I think that's really both. Vertical is definitely huge. But when we do short form videos, we actually deliver our clients horizontal and vertical, so they have both options. And we shoot, specifically for that in mind. But last year,
You shoot both ways, or you shoot one way? And
we shoot
crop?
one way and we crop, yeah. But we deliver both formats so they can, they have both. But for us, the big thing has been our reels, in which, we made the decision to, I've shot with, our professional cameras, our Sony A7S IIIs in vertical, but I've shot with, our iPhone 13 Pro Max. And honestly, for what we're trying to do and what we've done the past year and a half, the iPhone 13 just works for us. We're in, we're out a lot faster, and we're able to do some pretty creative things, and it allows us to be pretty flexible. It's not the most professional or cinematic, but agents really have grasped onto it and have really loved kind of the things that we've put out with those reels. So
get a little technical, just really quick. What are you using for the phone? What are you using as a gimbal? What platform? What are you using?
Just a regular DJI Osmo. I think it's the 5. Yeah. And so, I've tried both. I've tried to see, obviously the picture quality is a lot different with a Sony A7S III, but the flexibility of just pulling out the Osmo, putting the phone on it, running the agents through. We do various skits. We're very big on improvisation and on the spot improvisation. We like to have a lot of fun with our agents, and they love that. And another thing that I love about it is you're building that relationship with them. They have fun. I mean, I can't tell you how many clients of ours that just, they really have a good time in making the reels. And then the reels themselves, I've had countless clients tell us they've released it in their, they have the HOA Facebook groups or whatever, and they release the reel there. And they've won more listings just from people seeing how they're marketing themselves differently. That it's not your typical house tour. And some people don't like it because it kind of showcases the agent more than it does the house. But in the end, that is kind of the point. We are showcasing the agent. And we are helping them to build their brand and to get creative and to think outside the box. And as just kind of happenstance, they sell the house too.
Cool. Don't be. You sound like you're a little embarrassed that you use the iPhone, but don't be, because I first of all, the phones are great. The quality of the phones are great, and I don't know what the stats are, but I would have to guess probably 90 or 95%, if not more, people are viewing these videos on their phone anyway. We're not putting these or watching these, especially these vertical ones, on 30-inch monitors or bigger 50-inch monitors, whatever it is. So. It is what it is. And like you said, it's about convenience for you and being able to get in, get out, and still deliver a quality product. They're not hiring you because you use one camera over the other. They're hiring you because you can come in, get them the content they need, be in and out, not bothersome to the homeowner, and move on.
Yeah.
So.
I've been singing this tune for a while, but it's so
Tacey,
much.
You're the queen of iPhone videography over here.
But it's so much about the content that you deliver. And I guess, to people who haven't done video yet, just start with an iPhone, but do not bring your price down because of the pans that you're using. Charge for the product you're delivering. Charge for the value that you're bringing. And learn as you go along, and learn how to use, the grown-up cameras. You learn how to use the iPhone better so you can deliver a better product. But don't just make this instant assumption of iPhone, therefore cheap, because I think it will steer you wrong. So.
Yeah, I think that's a whole
You've
different.
been preaching that for a long time, Tacey.
Yeah, but I think that's a whole different mindset. I think in general. With the way you run your business and market your business, is that, you're not charging because of this cool equipment you have. You're charging based, it's value-based charging. You're charging based on the value you're bringing to your client, which is, let's say, for instance, when you're licensing images out to third parties, your licensing rates are affected based on the reach of the, the vendor that's licensing those images. So it's more valuable to them. Your prices are going to go up. So it's no different. You're just charging based on the value, and equipment doesn't play into it. If you're if you call a plumber and he's able to fix your house with just a screwdriver, he's not charging you less because he didn't have to bring all his tools in from the van. He's still charging you for fixing your sink or toilet or whatever it is. So,
and you're also doing this work because they don't want to or they don't know how. And I've used my iPhone for everything, but I also recently bought this thing called a Pivo, which is, this little mechanism that follows you around in the room. And I literally set it up at a shoot so that it can track the agent, and it has its own mic and the agent can talk to it. And, just trying to get them to even just be on camera with something, while I go about my business.
What is this thing? I want to hear about this.
It's called a Pivo, Pivo. It was actually originally created as an equestrian training tool, but basically it's just a little, spinner thing, but it's got an app that goes with it. And now it's got a microphone that you can plug in, and it will zoom. It has an auto zoom feature, and it will track you around the room, and you can program it to either track your face or just track a body. And so
I got the impression it's like on wheels and it follows around the house.
Oh, no, it's not. It's still on a stick.
That's you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you say the wrong thing, it electrocutes you.
Yeah. But I think it's regional too. Like Joel, you have clients on camera all the time. That over here just has not taken off the same, at least where I am.
Interesting. Yeah. And I think that the trends too, I think they're great to kind of play off of them and use them to build your different marketing packages. That has been something that we've done. Because the reels have been so popular, we've been able to help sell our top package by giving them kind of a discount on the reels at a lower price. That's been something that has been great as well with those. So,
and with your reels, are you offering fully edited reels, or you're doing something similar to Dylan, where you're just giving them clips and letting them put them together themselves?
No, these are fully edited reels. We've done different ones, but the ones I think that most people know us for they're fully edited. They're put to Instagram music, and they have all kind of hidden transitions and that kind of thing, and the agent appears all over the place.
It's definitely easier for the agent. They literally upload them like they're making any regular post. So, but I guess there's two sides of the coin on whichever.
And people should know I'm editing reels as well. I've just I'm offering clips because I think it's so valuable and it's something extra I can charge for. That's the one kind of problem I still have with video is communicating all the different options to agents and helping them understand, because I started with the first video I could make, which I still kind of do that video, and I just call my classic video. And it's basically a basic, super easy. I can shoot it in 15 minutes. I can edit in 10, 15 minutes. It's out the door. And my return on investment on that is huge because it's so fast to do it. And even though I only charge $250, my hourly rate's insane. And then I have my premium video that takes 3 hours to shoot and 5 hours to edit, and there's no way I could ever make the same hourly rate on that as I do on the cheap one. It's just, I can't get the market that high here. But I can do either of those horizontal or vertical, so if it's vertical, it's just edited to be a reel, and the agent might be on camera, the agent might not. And then the clips are kind of something separate on top of all that.
Yeah.
That's
I offer
great.
both a classic and a vertical and a boutique. And on my boutique, which is kind of like your cinematic one, they automatically get a vertical, but it's a triptych. It's like a 3-panel typically. Sometimes it's, 1 or 2 panels, but it's a minute. It's specifically designed for Instagram. And then on the classic, I just offer it. You can choose either shot vertically or shot horizontally. But you're right, Dylan. So much of what we offer now is overwhelming because we have so many different things we can do, and packaging is like this nightmare. And I end up spending a lot of time with clients just saying, okay, first let's talk about what the house needs. Then let's talk about what you need as a brand. And they may not be the same thing. And then you're going to write me a check anywhere between $275 and $2,700. Let's figure out in the middle what you need,
It's really nice when you get the agents who just kind of get the same thing every time. Most of my customers are like that now. They just order the same thing every time. Doesn't matter on the house. Maybe if it's a really nice house, they might go a little crazier, but it's always nice because they just don't think about it. They just order it. But one thing I was going to say, since we're talking about different levels of video, and I don't see this much in photography, and I'm actually kind of curious why, but with video, the funny thing about video is the better you get at it, the longer it takes. So unlike a lot of things in life where you learn to do this thing and it takes you a long time, but then the more you do it, the faster you get. The problem with video is as you learn more about it, you gather more skills, and every skill piles on top of your hour, and pretty soon it's 2 hours and 3 hours. And yeah, you get faster at maybe cutting together that timeline, but maybe now you're correcting all your verticals that you didn't used to do when you started. Maybe now you're color grading every clip like you didn't used to do. Maybe you're doing kind of interesting transitions, or you're doing motion tracking from aerial shots. I mean, all this stuff adds up and turns into like a 5-hour edit if you're going crazy on like a huge house or property. So you need to charge more for that. You can't charge what you charged week one in your business when you didn't know how to do any of that shit. And then suddenly you're doing this. So what I realized was like, okay, as my skills grow, I'm going to always have this premium video over here. This is the best I can do right now, and what I can do today is not what my premium video was 2 years ago, because now it's better. But then at the same time, I will also always have my classic video, and my classic video doesn't change. I'm really good at it. I have gotten better. It's gotten shorter and shorter time to make it. I'm down to about a half hour for the whole thing now. And that's why I have 2 videos, because I want to keep getting better. And most of my agents want the better thing now. But people still list shitty 2-bedroom, 1-baths in not great neighborhoods, but they promised a video to get the listing,
I think, you do have the analogy where it's your photos, the photos that we do for real estate are kind of your, run and gun video.
Yeah, the
and
classic
the cinematic, the high end one, that's when you're starting to segue into architectural designer builder stuff. Yeah, you slow down.
I think you plateau. To me, it's kind of like a hill. And I know this is the way it was for me personally. And it's like that for a lot of creatives. As you start learning more, your skills start building, you start incorporating every skill into your shots so they take longer. And then as you do that more and more and progress, you realize you don't need to utilize every single skill you've ever learned on every shot, I'm serious. That's the way it was. So now my shoots, for instance, are taking less time than they did a year and a half ago, because I realized I don't have to pull out every trick I know on every shot. It's just not necessary. And you kind of find your medium point. So I think, that does happen with video, but I think eventually as it comes up, it doesn't go all the way back down, but it kind of levels off and comes back down somewhere in the middle, where you do gain some of that time back, and you start to realize I don't need to put everything I've ever learned into every shoot. I just need to put in what this home requires for this shoot.
Yeah, I mean, when someone orders my premium, they're getting everything I have. And that's the point. And it's expensive. It's expensive, so not many people order it. It's like I'm trying to keep my customer list kind of short. And it's expensive, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want. And I guess I won't do everything I've ever learned, but I know I have every tool at my disposal, and I can pull any of them out that I want. Whereas if they're ordering a cheap video, I just can't do that. Like it's got to be in and out. It's all about time. And, I'm not going to put much into it.
And there's such a wide array of video from, Reels and iPhones to all the way up to custom property videos, because we do that as well, where we have kind of what would be like the classic for you. It's like our regular standard property video. We have different categories of that and different styles of that. But then we have, which we don't do this super often, but like would be like your premium video, where it's like custom. We're bringing in like models and cars and have a story and a direction. And it's great as, getting into video if you can kind of learn the whole gamut, to be able to produce those shorter ones that are, quick and dirty and don't take you quite as long, to the more elegant luxury type videos. So I think it's, benefit to both.
Cool. Before we shift gears, we're just going to pause for a quick minute because we need to hear a word from iGuide. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to expand your real estate photography business? Stand out from the crowd by offering 3D tours, accurate room measurements, square footage calculations, and professionally drafted floor plans, all from the click of a button with the state-of-the-art iGuide camera system. Get your first 5 standard iGuides up to 3,000 square feet free by adding the code Shooting Spaces in the referral section at camera purchase. Visit goiguide.com to learn more.
All right, we are back, and let's shift gears to a topic. I think, Tacey, you mentioned it briefly in talking, and no one paid attention to it, but I think you were talking to Joel about it, but that's people on camera. And that's a big thing now with branding and marketing videos and convincing your agents to get on camera. I don't think I've ever done that from a real estate perspective. Are all 3 of you doing that? Is that like a must-have thing now? I mean, I know there's a lot of money in it, but
for us, but for me, but
Yeah.
I don't mean must-have. Sorry, Tacey. I don't mean must-have in the sense that your agents have to do it or else you're not taking them. But I mean,
I would say more people are jumping on the bandwagon.
Yes, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tacey, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I think for us, because like our MLS won't allow people in videos.
Really?
So
I don't think anybody's will.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So when they're buying a video, it's a really tough sell to get them to shift from, okay, but I want to be able to post this on the MLS, to understanding that video is about so much more than the stupid MLS, to the point where, especially with the games that Redfin, Zillow, Realtor are all playing with, how they even show that video, trying to get agents to engage more with being on camera. It's been just a much harder sell here. And maybe part of it is that my market tends to be older agents, they're not as trendy. But yeah, it's been tough. I love what Joel's doing with having them on camera, but they don't get to talk.
Yeah. That's always nice when they don't have to talk.
Yeah.
Tacey, if an agent's on camera with me, I deliver the branded video, but then I deliver a separate cut.
Yeah. That's what I do too. Yep.
And I charge appropriately for that. So like I have a video price, but if an agent wants to be on camera doing an intro and an outro, that's an extra price.
Yep.
And that's very easy to chop that off and turn it into an MLS cut. If they want to be on camera throughout the video, the price just got way bigger. If they want an MLS video, because now all of a sudden I have to basically do 2 edits.
Correct. Yep.
Just a matter of will they pay for the MLS?
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing I'm getting out of this, and it's what I've always believed in, our job, the most important part of our job and the end result is more money, more clients, is taking them by the hand, teaching them, telling them what they need, why they need it, and then showing examples going, we can do this, or we could do this. And Tacey, when you said, we can spend this much or this much, but finding a really good pitch and just helping them help themselves, because I think they're always grasping at, what can I do to separate myself? What can I do to get the listing? And it's something that will never change. And realtors are a certain type of person, but you're going to find a lot of them that are now going to be open to it. But I think you're going to have to show them an example and how they can go, oh, I get it. I see. And this is how we could do it. And can you help me do that? So that's what I take away from all of this. And to help them to understand that the more features that they're offering their clients, it's all about you. You're not doing the video as much to sell the house. I almost believe the whole thing. You're doing it to sell you. You're doing it to sell your brand, and you're doing it to sell your agency and what you were doing. Does everybody? I mean, it's kind of my philosophy.
Well, having been an agent for 13 years, I can assure you that's correct. What you just said, like the reason I was so hyped on video is because I started winning listings in 2017 when I started making videos. People started calling my office asking for the video guy, and I'm like, okay, there's something to this. But I didn't want to be a realtor anymore. I hadn't for quite a while. So I saw this as an out. But since I speak agent, generally my pitch to agents is, look, do a video for every listing because the cheap one is so cheap. Why not? But when you get a listing that you want more of, something that's unique, and you really want to leverage this listing to go get more listings like it, some luxury property, something awesome, do the best video. And not because you're going to sell the house. For the same reason you're going to do an open house at this property, you're going to do it to prospect and meet potential buyers, maybe some nosy neighbors that might be selling their mansion next door in a month or two. Do the video for the same reason. It's a prospecting tool. And when you're at an amazing listing appointment next time and you're up against a few of the top agents, you bring out this video, it's on your iPad, you show them how you're going to market the property, and you are going to win the listing. You're not going to wait for them to call. They're going to sign on the dotted line in the appointment. And I know they're going to, because that's what happened with me every single time I did it.
And it's probably not the first time they saw that video. They probably already saw it on social media, and it's pinging back to their memory.
It very well be, because now enough people are on social, it's out there marketing for you. But I mean, even in our market, most agents aren't doing video. It's still a pretty easy way to separate yourself from the crowd.
Hey, Joel, when obviously now you're known for your reels and how people are, dancing silly through the house and jumping to music. So they're buying that because they've seen a lot of it be successful. But how did you pitch that initially? How did you get people to either trust you, or what was the collaborative process like to create those initial reels like that?
Sure. So, I mean, I think for us and for me in general in this career is all about improvising and being able to evolve. I don't think, I think with technology, industry in general, things are always changing, and you have to be able to look and see how to adapt to that change. So when we started planning for the reels, we knew in general what we wanted to do. But it actually started out, I was killing myself there for a little while because we were trying to do these things all in one take. And so, telling them to be where, and then run to this room and then run to that room. And then I was like, why don't we just do some quick cuts and some hidden cuts and things? So things kind of evolved, but then, we have clients that have their own personalities that bring their own ideas to the table. We have a great client base, and the clients that we work with, they bring their own ideas, and we are great at taking their ideas and then just building off of that. And that's part of what I think also makes, a good relationship between us and them. And, they learn to trust us, we trust them, and together it's really teamwork. So.
Cool.
Do you guys originally get pushback when you're trying to get agents to get on camera? Because I know when I used to do it and try, which was very minimal, I'll admit that. Not me. It's not happening. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was like, I don't have my makeup on today. I'm in sweats. I don't want to And I would talk to them so much about how, you don't get to meet a buyer all absolutely gussy to the T's with one take, every time you've got to just risk, but mine have not bitten. So.
Well, sometimes you meet a seller in a Whole Foods or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I have never asked or pushed a realtor to be on camera. Like, from my perspective, it's kind of an extra pain in the ass I don't want to deal with. I like being in houses by myself. I love houses, not people. So when realtors want to be on camera, and they ask me, hey, can I be? Yeah, they order the on-camera thing. Sweet, let's do it. I'm all there for it. But it's not something I push in the least. Like, I could care less if my customers are on camera.
I would say for us in our area, there's a lot of one-upping around here. A lot of clients.
Just your area?
Yeah, well, I definitely noticed it around here. And we had one particular client that of ours who's kind of a top producer client that, does a whole lot of listings. He was probably the first one of our clients to really, he wanted to be on camera every single time. And whether it was a condo or a, 8,000 square foot house, he was doing the same package, the full package. And, that included the agent intro, everything. And people, I had a lot of people actually complimenting on that. And I felt like that was really the springboard for us in this area, that he actually had a pretty big influence on a lot of people and wanting to jump in on that trend. So
there's always one in every town.
Yeah.
We've got one guy here in Sacramento area. He's the top dog. But yeah. Why don't we switch? We're just going to go into what are some new and next steps for video production, video innovations. What's going on? Tacey, what's next coming up? What's coming in? I mean,
forecast the future.
Yeah, forecast. I think understanding that words drive search engines, not pictures, not images, not video. I think that the words behind it do. So that's why I was talking about AI and generating descriptions and tying that into your YouTube videos. And then that ties back to Google. I think, AI with just training it on everything about you as your business or your client for their business, putting all of that into words. I'm not over on the TikTok side of things at all, and I know that that's extremely just visual, but I think words and AI and tying that together are the next thing.
Yeah, I wonder, that got me thinking, and I don't know the answer to this, and my brother does internet marketing, I should ask him, but I wonder, you mentioned video and words and SEO and stuff. I wonder, and I don't know if any of you know this, if like Google, for instance, has the ability to dissect audio of a video and use that in, for instance, YouTube, not necessarily just the title and the description, but words that are spoken in a video and use that for helping in search engine rankings, because I don't see why they shouldn't be able to do that. It was technology that was available years ago. I don't know the answer to that, but I
don't know if it's in search, but they're definitely doing it, because I know you'll be demonetized if you say any naughty words in the first 30 seconds or something in the video.
Well, so, it's that, and a lot of these companies offer closed captioning automatically now, so they can definitely transcribe the words that you're saying. So I wonder why or if, and if anybody knows the answer, reach out to me and I'll try to do some research on my own and find out if Google, if a video that's on YouTube that has an agent talking about a house can show up on search engines for listings in that area, and I don't see why it shouldn't be able to.
And back to the AI thing too, I think using it to help your client generate ideas for video. I shot this equestrian property last year that hasn't been moving. So I put into ChatGPT, write me a modern day fairy tale about this kind of property using this MLS description, and give me a script for a real estate agent to be able to walk through a millionaire horsey buyer on this property. You can just do wild stuff like that. And it gives you, even if it doesn't give you the final product, it gives you a springboard to creativity, and giving your agents these springboards to creativity, I think, is a lot of what we can do.
Cool. Anything you can do to for them to see that you're coming up with these great ideas. I mean, wow, that's fantastic. And it used to be maybe a marketing media part of the business that's doing it, and now you as the photographer is offering this. I think it's just another reason that they're going to hire you. You can offer so much more.
For sure.
Joel, what's going on in the future
with the AI? In the future,
just with what's the general trend? I mean, something that's coming in, something that's So
the AI thing, I mean, we've watched it. I mean, Tacey's right. It's a great springboard for content, for script writing, even if it doesn't give you that final product. We've definitely toyed around with it for, helping us with some script writing and things. And it's great for that. One thing that we launched this year, and we just kind of throwing our hat in the ring and seeing how it goes, is FPV tours. is doing inside drone tours the house, which has been cool. I would say it hasn't taken off like reels and things like that. I've had one of our videographers be the lead on that. I'm like, I don't have time to learn how to fly drones through houses, so I'm like, you got this. So no, it's been good. We've had a few people order that, and it's definitely a different kind of technology. But yeah, the whole AI thing is kind of mind blowing. I'm not entirely sure where that's going. So.
And where would one like myself go to start learning more about the IA and AI and trying to see how I can find something that will help me and to get more into it? I mean, you could sure go on YouTube or you can go on, Google, but what would you search for?
You go on to ChatGPT and you ask it your
anything
question.
you want. Yeah.
What is ChatGPT?
ChatGPT is one of the AIs. And I actually heard someone talking about this the other day, how it's not AI. There are multiple AIs, Midjourney is an AI. ChatGPT is an AI. There are going to be hundreds of them, and each of them will excel at a particular thing. But think of ChatGPT as your alternative to Google search. So we used to go in and we'd put in, find me the best photographer in Washington State, tell me about that. And Google gives you all of these different things. Well, now you can go into ChatGPT and ask the same question, and it's going to come up with a more cohesive average of the answers. So it's becoming more of a search engine too, as well as it can be anything, Yeah. Yesterday, my husband and I, we sat down and we told it to create us an HTML chart or code to identify the top pieces of art that had been sold ever and what their prices were. And boom.
There are also those. Have you seen the AI apps that you tell it to create a picture? Paint me a cabin on a mountain with a unicorn and and it brings up something. I mean, that's
I saw on F-Stoppers today. They had an article on the first AI image ever was used in commercial advertising on a billboard.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, yeah.
If you guys aren't following him, go and look at Tim Tadder, Tadder.
Yeah, follow him. His work is insane before he started messing with AI, and now it's even a whole different level.
It just
Tadder.
If you like colors,
Tadder, at Tim Tadder.
If you like colors, he's right up your alley. Or LSD, he's right up your alley. One or the other.
Either one.
And it's funny about. I mean, we're talking maybe 15 years now, but it used to be. I remember when the show House was the first show to be filmed partially in video in digital. I mean, that's not that long ago. And this is just mind-boggling.
Yeah. This is like the internet again. It's the beginning of the internet. It just,
oh boy,
that's what it makes me think of too.
Scary.
Yep.
So I have a prediction for real estate video.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that it's to follow up on what Matt's saying. I think within a couple years, my guess is that a realtor will be able to buy a device that is kind of like an iPhone camera connected to a little teensy weensy drone that behaves in a house kind of like a flying Roomba. And they just go into a house, turn it on, and it just explores the house and figures things out and creates this cool path. And it downloads straight to their phone, and maybe the phone pre-edits everything and does some cuts and adds some transitions, and anything even close to a basic video will be completely a thing of the past because there will be this little device for like less than $100 that'll do it for them.
I've seen an ad like that was like an inside flying surveillance drone that it was like like for security. And it would just kind of fly around and hovers around your house.
Have you patented that yet, Dylan?
No, I'm confident someone in the great state.
You're so confident in the way you're talking about it. It sounds like it's something you're working on over there.
Well, let me ask the big question: are we all out of a job, or are we going to morph and get on board, and it's going to be a good thing for us? I mean,
well, luckily, to sell real estate, you have to advertise the real estate as it exists when it's listed for sale.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think we probably are pretty safe for a while, especially in the world of photography. But in videography, I could see things, and even in photography, maybe like I could certainly see agents doing the same crap where editing programs get good enough, that you just snap with your iPhone. It straightens all the verticals. Maybe it changes the perspective, whatever. But yeah, eventually, like anything that's even close to something an agent could do themselves or their assistant could do, probably they will have them do instead of us.
I think
now, are we talking 3 years? Are we talking 5 years? Or what's the timeline here? Joel, what's the timeline?
Rich wants to know when he has to put his retirement papers in.
Right.
Well, I'm
exactly.
I just turned 66 yesterday, guys. So
happy birthday, Rich.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thanks. But just curious.
You hear me talking about like the AI and all of that innovation stuff, but I actually think, and it's bouncing off of what Dylan says about the home has to be that. I think that there is a great branding opportunity for being an authentic photographer. And even, pulling back on window pulls, never touching a virtual twilight, not doing virtual staging, perhaps, going kind of old school, the same way that with, embracing all of this digital photography, now you've come back to people wanting film, people using records, albums, stuff like that. I think there will always be a niche for the authentic image creator. So maybe think about that angle too.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and that's how I'm kind of trying to protect my own business, is that I told Rich this earlier today on our quick call, prepping for this forum, that I'm trying to move as far up market as I possibly can. Because the more complicated the things I do when I'm on the job, the harder it is for a realtor to replicate it. So like, I'm always working to get better at my photography. It's certainly something I need to get better at.
Dylan has a shower shot that no realtor is ever going to replicate.
No, never. We
video
know that
shower
well.
shot. Yeah.
Video shower.
And I'm not in the shower. Well, actually, I am in the shower today.
He is clothed.
It works great on wine racks too. But anyways, like the more I can do that I know they can't do, I think the safer I am. At least in a certain market. It might only be high-end luxury, but that's fine. So it's my 2 cents.
Cool. So before we wrap up, we have a couple questions we want to get to, but as we close it out, we just want to say our final words from Photo Up, and we'll be back in a minute with a few questions.
Let's face it, editing sucks. It sucks time, it sucks money, and it sucks resources away from your business and your family. That's why Photo Up has changed the game. Photo Up allows you to work one-on-one with an experienced editor that is 100% dedicated to you and your business. Photographers with a Photo Up dedicated editor say their edits are good or amazing 98.6% of the time. They're able to deliver images to their clients faster, and they get editing as low as 50 cents per image.
Really? As low as 50 cents an image?
You heard that right. Editing as low as 50 cents per image. Ready to find your dedicated editor? Sign up for a free Photo Up account at photoup.net and send trial images to 3 different dedicated editors. That's right. Try 3 different editors absolutely free.
3 for free. I like that.
So today, when you're all done shooting spaces, head over to photoup.net and hit the sign up button or click the Photo Up logo on the Shooting Spaces website.
And don't forget to tell them Rich and Brian sent you.
All right, we're back, and let's take some final questions we have from some of our live attendees. We have a question from Rod for, I guess, any of you, because you all, I guess, shoot with the iPhone, you said. What app do you use to shoot video with the iPhone? Is it just the native app, or do you use a third-party video recorder app?
So I use the native one. I use the native video. I tried the DJI app, and I just did not like it for a number of reasons, and so we just used the native camera.
You use the cinematic app?
Nope. We shoot 60 wide for our main reels.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I use the Moment Pro Camera app. I just really like how it reacts, and you don't have to use Moment lenses to use the app. So I use that, and then because I'm on a movie, that's how I'm tying in. Filmic Pro is good as well, but I find that the Moment app is great. I don't really love the native HDR with the phone, honestly.
I forgot about those Moment lenses. I think I have 2 or 3 of those lenses. I haven't used them in years.
Anybody want to buy mine?
Yeah, mine for sale too. Hey,
I tell you,
send me a DM.
I use that 58 millimeter on the standard lens, and it fundamentally changes how my videos look.
I mean, when I used to use it, it worked great. Quite frankly, I just don't use them anymore. So, cool. Days Voigt, what's going on, Days? Days asks, what are your general delivery timeframes for your tiers, and do you outsource your edits for a faster turnaround? I mean, do you guys all edit yourself?
I edit every video I've ever made. I've edited myself.
I have never edited a single video I made.
I edited every single video up until about a year ago, and now we have an in-house video editor.
Okay, and what kind of time frames are you offering for your different videos?
All ours are two business
ahead.
days. All ours are 2 business day turnaround, no matter whether it's the cinematic or the the reels. They're all 2 business days.
And even peak season, it's the same, doesn't change?
Yep. Well, we have another contracted in-house editor that we use for overflow. I'll jump in if I need to, but for the past year, I haven't really edited, I think, a single video.
My classics are next morning, and my boutique is 48 hours.
And yours, Dylan?
My cheap ones are normally next day, and the premium ones are, I shoot for 2 days, but it's kind of whenever it gets done. I don't promise anything on the premium ones. But what I do tell realtors is probably you shouldn't call me to do it 2 days before you need to list it. So my good clients are calling me a week or 2 before the thing's going live, and we have plenty of time, so it doesn't really matter.
I love how you call it my cheap one.
My cheap one.
Do you call that to your clients too? Do you say you want my cheap one?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, here's a cheap one. This sounds a piece of shit.
Fuck yeah.
I'll be like, look, I'm going to refund you money on Square right now because you bought the wrong video. Let me do the cheap one. And, yeah, totally. But I speak to my realtors like I'm a realtor, like I would have spoke to the people in my office when I'm talking to them. So, yeah.
Hey, Dylan, what would you suggest for a guy like me that's got an iPhone and has a little bit of technique? What app am I going to use to do just simple, basic reels? What am I going to, I want to keep this simple. Can I do something on my phone? What do you do?
I mean, honestly, I don't shoot anything with an iPhone anymore, and I haven't since like 2019. So
okay. Or Tacey, what would you use?
If I was going to, I like Filmic Pro too.
Okay, Filmic Pro. Okay, great.
What do you guys use, Joel? Just your normal camera app, right?
Yeah, just native camera.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. And let's go with one final question before we wrap it up. And I can probably answer this for all of you, but Brian asks, how do you handle a harshly critical client who dissects your video scene by scene to the point they should have shot it and edited it themselves? My answer is fire them.
My answer is have policies that highlight that.
Right.
So
that it's not emotional at all. It's just
have it on your website, have a policy in place. This is what you do if that comes up and how you handle it, and then you can just point them to that, and that has your backing.
Yeah.
My policy is very simple. I never re-edit anything after I send it unless I made a mistake.
Exactly. That's mine too.
So I just tell agents, look, you've seen my body of work. That's why you hired me. It's on Instagram. You either liked it or you didn't.
Trust me. Exactly.
And this work I'm giving you is at that same standard. And if you don't care for it, no big deal. You don't have to hire me again.
Unless it's the music, right? You'll change the music.
I will not ever change the music.
So on the change the music thing, I will say that, they just want you to change the music.
Oh yeah,
and
just the music.
The best description that
No big
I've
deal.
been able to use
Not a problem.
is to say, if you want to change the music, I have to rebake the whole cake.
Yeah.
I cannot just take out one ingredient and put it back in. So if you want to pay for the cake to be in the oven again, I'll change the music. And they're like, no.
Now you can say, post it as a reel, mute the video, and choose your own music. No big deal.
Yep. Go for it. Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. I want to thank all three of you, four of you, Rich, too. I'll thank you. Why not?
Good job, Rich. Happy birthday.
Yes. I'll thank you for 5 wonderful years, Rich. Yeah, but Tacey, Joel, and Dylan, thanks for coming on. I think this is, Rich, is this our first 5-person roundtable?
Yeah, and I think it worked really well. Do you all agree? I think 5's not too much.
Yeah.
It was good.
No, it was good. Hopefully people
Thanks.
that are listening and not watching are like, who's talking now? Whose voice is this?
And actually, we could have, Brian and I, we didn't even need to be here. Tacey, you could be the MC. You did a great job.
Totally.
All right. So thank you all for coming on. Thank you, the group of people who attended live, who are here with us, still with us now. And thank you all for listening at home. And Rich, anything you want to add before we close it out?
No, I'm just so thrilled that this new format we're doing is working. I'm getting really good feedback from people. It's providing good information. And, we're coming up with subjects. If you got a subject you want to have us talk about, send me a message. You know how to get in touch with me. But we're coming up with some good stuff. And this video idea, I think, was perfect. And I'm so glad I invited you three, because this was as good as we could ever expect. So thank you so much. Let's all have a great rest of the year. And Tacey, you get some rest, because what are you doing? 14 shoots tomorrow. But
14 by Friday.
By Friday, yeah. I think I'll do 14 all month. But I just want to say, as always, thank you. And thank you, everyone, the panelists and the attendees that came out to listen to us. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And as always, go out and shoot some spaces.